everybody. Welcome to another episode of Three League OGs. I'm your moderator, Ashley Stroehlein, joined by two of my co-hosts at the moment, Muggsy Bogues and Earl Cureton. Guys, how's it going this week?
Great.
Hey,
How you
Ash.
doing, Ashley? How
I
are
can't
you?
complain.
Well, we good. Wonderful.
So we'll get started with some hot topics. We'll have Oak joining us shortly, but we're going to go on. So first off,
No telling where he is. I know it. Where is he? Go ahead. I'm sorry, Ash. Go
I know
ahead.
we've just gotten used to this, right? Comes and goes as he pleases.
He's on his way.
My man.
But recently, when we were in the middle of recording an episode, we saw a tweet notification. It was that James Harden was getting out of Houston. He was going to Brooklyn to join Kyrie and KD and the rest of the Nets. Now that we've seen him there for some games, what are your thoughts?
He got his wish. He got his wish, I tell you. And it's such a treat to see them two hook up, and the chemistry is just kind of click right away. And I guess it's a familiarity in terms of when they was in OKC together early on in their careers. But, they're at a different stage in their career right now. As James mentioned earlier, during his press conference that, he's excited. Him and KD are older now. Their IQ level is a lot higher. They understand the game a lot more. The game has slowed down. They've been through a lot. So they're just looking to try to bring on the championship with the two of them. And let's hope that the three of them can buy it.
Yeah, well, both of these guys are pretty much superstars in the league. They both have their own teams. I mean, Harden, he carried Houston for a number of years, and KD is, you can probably say the top player in the league right now. And both of these guys understand. I mean, coming together, those two guys playing together, they can coexist. I mean, we've seen this before throughout the league. What the problem is what will that third wheel fit in at? We know when Chris Bosh and LeBron James and when they got together in Dwayne Wade, it was one guy had to take a back seat. Chris Bosh was a guy that was like a top scorer in the league, but he had to take on a different role. With Michael Jordan, with Scottie Pippen and Dennis Rodman, three player types, different type players, rebounder, defensive players, two scorers. Two scorers can coexist together. So these two guys right now are playing great basketball, but what will the chemistry be like when all three of them get together? That's what I'm interested in seeing. It's the honeymoon right now. Things are going well, but we'll really see what happens when all three of them get together. And then the coaches are going to have to figure out a way to define roles to these guys or how it's going to work out, because they've both been used to leading teams. All three of them are stars in their league. They both scorers. All of them like to handle the basketball. But as you know, in basketball, you got to create chemistry, and guys got to be able to play together, and some roles that have to be defined. So somebody's going to have to take a back seat and step back a little bit when all three of them come together. So we'll see how all that work out. And, you mentioned Muggs, they're older now and they're matured. And if winning is the priority, they'll figure out how they're going to do it to be able to win games.
All right. Go ahead.
No, but just to piggyback on that, I just think that this stage in their career, they all will buy in. And I think the elephant in the room is how would Kyrie fit in and how we adjust to James coming on to the team. But knowing the type of player that he is and knowing the IQ level that young man has, I know they're trying to find a ways of how we should play him, and we should be mixing with the second unit to give him more opportunities with the ball in his hand. But, Steve Nash, he was a super MVP within his rights, in his own right. So he understands, how to make sure that these guys, stay happy with that one ball that they're going to have to share.
Yeah. Well, all three of them have to start, I would imagine. So you're starting all three of them, then how is that, you have to work that rotation out where, you take one out and, that second unit, get something going. Scotty and Mike, they coexist great together. I mean, they complemented each other great. They played together. Right now, you're seeing similar chemistry between Harden and Durant. So I'm thinking, when Kyrie come in, how do you implement, that into the system that they're trying to run?
Yeah.
Well, and you kind of mentioned it a little bit, Earl, the big three, we look at those over the years, and you've got Jordan, Pippen, Rodman, you've got Duncan, Ginobili, Parker, James, Bosh, and Wade. So you look at those, and we all know how that played out. But when you look at these three, how do you think they kind of stack up when you go through the 90s, the 2000s, and forward?
It's a little different, because, Chris Bosh actually, he took on a different role. He became the lesser of the three. The rebounding and shot blocking and kind of a defensive role and not scoring as many points. Rodman is easy. Rodman fits in with any team because he strictly was a defensive player, a rebounder, a hustler, and a scrappler. And Scotty and Mike, they work perfect together. But now you got three primetime guys on the same team and the same roster. How do they coexist together? You got three of them. They all can score. They all can take the big shots. And, we know that it's Durant's team, but, we also know in Houston, it was Harden's team. We also know that Kyrie, has got somewhat of an ego too. So it depends on how those guys, they get in a room, they talk about it, they discuss it, and how do they figure out how they're going to make it happen.
Yeah, and we always, as he mentioned, we always had a big three back in the day, in the 80s and the 90s. And you mentioned Scotty, Rodman, and MJ. Then you had Bird, Robert Parrish, DJ down in Boston. You had Magic, Worthy, Kareem up in the Lakers. And you can even say that a little bit about Detroit and with their team back in the 90s, 91. So, I mean, these are, as Earl mentioned, these are three different animals. These guys, three of them are used to having the ball in their hands. Other guys that have different skill sets where they can fit in, like a Robin, more of a rebounder, could kind of complement the other two guys. These three guys, these gentlemen love to be isolated with the basketball, but I think Durant, he's capable of deferring in terms of not having with the ball. He can play without the basketball. Kyrie Irving as well. So I'm just looking to see the chemistry in terms of the egos. How do they manage those egos in terms of when it comes down to the end of the game, who gets that basketball?
I always wondered why they made such a big deal. Like you said, the big three's been around forever, man. You go back to the Lakers days, that's why I become a triple OG, because I know those days when you had Elgin Baylor, Wilt Chamberlain, and Jerry West. You can't get two bigger threes than that. Even my Philadelphia team, you go back to Philly, we had Doc and Moses, two MVPs on the same team. You throw Andrew Toney into the mix of that, and you got three guys that, Mo Cheeks and, all those players together. But at the end of the day, roles have to be defined. People have to accept things, and you have to come together as a team and be able to play together and work together. So the chemistry part is something you have to work out. But I just see this one as being different with these three guys. And I'm not saying they can't do it. It'll be interesting to see how this makes it work.
And we've obviously talked about Kyrie multiple times during our podcast, and whether he's going to show up and play, whether he's not, and just everything that's going on with him. So you guys kind of touched on it, but where do you kind of think things are with him right now? I know he recently spoke to the media and kind of shared where he's at in his life, both professional and personally, but just kind of your thoughts as that situation progresses.
Yeah, just listen to what he had to share with the media in terms of he had to, just take a little time off and step away. He has some personal issues that he need to deal with. People don't realize that he did get fined, so he lost quite a bit in that regards. But looking beyond, the personal things, some of the things that he was able to do, I mean, what I was reading, was really touched my heart, being able to give back to the community. Gave $323,000 to Food America. He gave he partnered with Nike, gave 17 pallets of food to distribute to the New York community. I mean, he did so much, paid for George, understand that he paid for George Floyd's family, brought them a home. I mean, paid for the WNBA players who decided not to go and play in the bubble. He paid their salary, which was a total of $1.5 million. So I can't say anything negative about Kyrie Irving in terms of the man he is and the things that he decided to do with himself. Because I'm outside looking in, I don't know what all he's going through, but to see him able to do that and put smiles on those people's face, my heart goes out to him.
Yeah, well, the thing is a lot of things that happen behind the scenes that the public and people don't know about, don't know exactly what's going on or how it's working. We've had players in the league that's done similar type things, and it depends on what your family thinks about it. When you talk about a team, you talk about family. Like a Dennis Rodman, for instance, here in Detroit. Dennis was a little different from everybody on the team. Chuck Daly used to always say, yeah, Dennis is different. I have another guy here who can get me 18 rebounds a night. Well, that's what makes Dennis different. So if Dennis is not at practice, then what car didn't start today? They always had an excuse of maybe, but at the end of the day, game time came. He stepped up and played in the game. As long as Kyrie don't affect what they're trying to do and what their goals are, trying to get to where they got to get to, and the players and the family accept what he's trying to do, then I think, things will work out. But when you start interfering with wins and losses and your players get disgruntled with what you're doing, then that become a problem. But if the family can handle it and the owners, the coaches, then things will have a way to work out. And like you said, Muggs, he's doing a lot of positive things away from basketball. But his first priority is to take care of the team where he's making all the money at right now.
And that's true. That's true. And I mean, I'm quite sure that he understands that first and foremost, that his first priority, well, I'm not saying his first priority to the team, but he has his obligations, his responsibility, because that's where he's, created his livelihood through that.
Exactly.
And he got to be professional in doing so. And so I'm quite sure now that they can find a way to, mesh, put bygones behind them and come together as one. I'm looking forward to seeing what they all three can do together, because it's going to be exciting on one side of the floor anyway. That other side, it's going to be questionable, in terms of the defense's part of it. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, they've been proven to be three great players. I mean, we've seen exciting things out of these guys over the years, and they put some shows on, and so it's just a matter. I mean, you got the talent in the room, you got everything there. Now put it together, And I know if Oak was here, he'd have an analogy on how, about the cake and all the ingredients and all all the things got to be there. So we'll see what happens.
Right. Well, you touched on, so many of the things that he's kind of taken on personally to give back to. And I think one of the things that Kyrie mentioned, I'm just a little overwhelmed. And so like you guys mentioned, it's finding that balance of using your platform and helping others. And we've seen a lot of players and organizations do that. The NBA really tries to be at the forefront of pushing for change. And I'm just curious, as a league, how do you guys feel about how the NBA's embraced that in the last year?
Well, that's what the NBA is all about. They're partners with their players. And that's one of the reasons why the guys have a big microphone out there, and they're not afraid to use it. And that's one of the things about today's players. I mean, they're really engaged, and they're really engaged in terms of what's going on socially, and with the community, with the society, and they got their pulse on it. And one of the Chris Paul, who's the head of the Players Association, the president. I mean, him and LeBron James, they becoming very students, not so much of the game, but students of life. They be very cautious of things, of equality. They want to make sure that everything that what they represent, that they spill out into the world. And for Adam Silver, the Commissioner Silver, not letting them or holding them back in any sort of way and letting them express themselves. It's a wonderful thing to watch a professional league be behind their players and be able to take on the right cause that's going on in our world, in our society.
It's no question. They've definitely been letting their voices be heard, and the thing when Carmelo and Dwayne Wade and LeBron stepped up, at the beginning of all of this when they first started, and this stuff has just carried on. And these guys have done a great job at Black Lives Matter, for community work, for looking out for everything, and they expressing how they feel. This stuff started a long time ago. I mean, you go back to Jim Brown, you go back to Kareem and and those guys, and Muhammad Ali, they were athletes that stepped up and expressed social issues and addressed different things that were going on. And now you see it continue with these guys now, and they've done a lot of good work. And Adam Silver and the NBA has gave them an opportunity to use the platform to be able to do it.
Absolutely. I know I just recently did a story for my other job at WCNC Charlotte on the social justice platform that the Hornets as an organization launched. And it was really cool to say, hey, we know this past year we started with our voting initiatives, but we want to keep expanding that and look at economic mobility and racial equity. And Muggsy, I was cutting some video for my story and I saw you at some of the Hornets events. So I know you're very engaged in all the community efforts that they're doing. So I think it's really, and I know all the NBA teams kind of really take on their communities, but living in a city that has an NBA team and seeing how the Hornets have embraced everyone here and want to make a difference, I think that's amazing.
And that's what it's all about. It's all about serving. And that's one of the things that they get. They really get it. They understand how important the community is to the organization because that's their heartbeat. And being able to understand how important they are, they want to make sure that not by just words, but by their actions. I mean, they do so many community activities in the area. I mean, of course, with the pandemic, it has stopped a lot of things, but they found a way. They continue to find ways to go out there and reach the community make sure that they give them opportunities to let them know that we still care for you, even though we can't, you can't be inside our product and our love, which continue to come to you. And they express that so much. And I'm grateful to be part of the Hornets because they really understand the importance of, like I said, how the fans really mean to them, how the community means, and they reach out wholeheartedly.
Yeah, well, me and Muggsy got similar jobs, and here in Detroit, I'm ambassador of the community for the Detroit Pistons. And the format that's set out there is throughout the whole league. The voting thing has got to be really impressive for all the players. They got to be pretty happy about the outcome of the election and how we opened up our arenas and made avenues for voters to get out and vote. How we did knock and hangs and we made telephone calls and we had our arenas accessible and we put all these programs together to encourage people to get out and put their vote out. Not picking a party or picking anything, but just encouraging people that hadn't voted in the past to go out and make their voices be heard and reaching our young youth and let them know the importance of voting. And I think they did that throughout the league. I'm sure it happened down in Charlotte, but all of the programs that the NBA put out goes around to all 30 teams throughout the league, and the community relations departments kind of come together and implement those programs throughout the city. And I think it made a huge impact on the election this year, especially in the inner city. You look at at Detroit and places where it made a huge impact.
But I kind of want to keep on that, with the NBA and everything they're doing in the community, but also for each other. It's really like this brotherhood, I think, with players and coaches and how you guys want to help each other out, whether it's during your career or it's after. And you kind of look at Delonte West's situation and Mark Cuban saying, hey, I'm going to take you under my wing. I'll pay for your rehab. And now he just started working at a rehab center in Florida. So to kind of see everyone kind of root for him and Mark Cuban do that, and now where he's at after everything he's went through. What do you think about that?
Well, one thing about the NBA, it's a fraternity. That's for sure. It's definitely a fraternity, and we understand post career as well as your current career, and we understand how important that is, and we want to make sure that everybody continue to do well. And NBA does a fine job of creating programs for any guys that's going through any type of difficulties of some sort with their families or with their kids, scholarship programs, all sorts of things. They have outlets where you can kind of reach out to the NBA. I mean, reach out for those resources. And I'm so happy for Delonte because he's such a great human being, great young man, and for him to continue to want to get better, and for Mark Cuban to create that opportunity for him to go in and refine himself, I should say, and just find his joy again. It's just a beautiful, beautiful thing to be witnessing. And because we all, go through things, we all, sometimes it's challenging that where our mind, get to a place where we just can't deal with life, and we just can't cope with it. But I'm just grateful again, like I said, that our fraternities is huge and will always be there for whomever need that type of effort or that type of resource. And I'm grateful that Mark reached out to Delonte, and seeing him turn his life around is such a blissful thing to be witnessing.
I think it's great, guys that pioneered the game of basketball, that's out there. The leagues change, in terms of salaries and all those type of things, and a lot of things can happen. Mental health is definitely a serious problem, not only in basketball, but in everyday life. For them to reach out, we got the Retired Players Association now that's kind of stepping up each and every year to try to do some different things to be able to help the retired players. They gave us insurance finally. We all got insurance, which is a great thing for us to be able to have. And they need to do more things got to happen. And thank to Chris Paul, and guys like that, they stepped up and kind of doing some things to look out. But Mark Cuban, he stepped to the plate, and I understand it's a few other players that Jameer Nelson and a couple other guys that's looking out for him as well. And him making a step to go to the rehab was great. And now he's working there. We saw similar situations. Look at John Lucas' career. I mean, John Lucas had some problems, doing his playing career, turned his whole life around. He's rehabbing people, he's helping people, and he's staying within that system that's really still helping him to stay clean and take care of himself. So hopefully Delonte West gets everything together. Like Muggs said, he's a great guy. I really didn't know him that well. I watched him play, and he was a great player. So hopefully what's going on right now, he'll stay close to Mark Cuban, close to his family, and stay with that rehab center and continue to keep helping other people like yourselves, because he's not the only one in that type of situation. And yeah, the NBA is definitely a fraternity that want to help people when they see them get into those type of situations.
All right, time now for some fan questions. Of course, we take these from social media. We always ask people to use the hashtag 3League OGs, and if we find your question and it fits our podcast, we're gonna ask the guys here. So we'll start with this one. Someone wants to know, if the NBA expands and adds 2 more teams, which cities should get those teams?
Ooh.
I would say Seattle is definitely one city for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Seattle. And Vegas.
And been talk about Vegas. Yeah, there's no
Seattle and Vegas. Those are two cities I think that really would really enhance the NBA. You already got a WNBA team there in both cities, so that will also continue that tradition where the women and the men have opportunity to play professional basketball. Just understood that Mr. Davis bought the WNBA team in Vegas, so that would be really interesting to see a team in Seattle and Vegas. I wouldn't mind going to Vegas.
They got football there too now. So.
That's true. They are expanding. So
I know we won't never have the All-Star game there again.
I heard about that game. I wasn't there, but I heard a lot of stories about it.
They say what goes in Vegas, stay in Vegas.
Yeah.
All right. On that note, this next question: who was the best trash talker you ever had to play against?
Well, for me, of course, there's always going to be a point guard, which is Gary Payton. You know, GP always just chit chat, want to talk it up, and I mean that was his game. You know, that brought the best out of him. And for me, I didn't have many guys that talk trash to me. We just went out there and competed and that sort of thing. But the number one guy that at my position was GP, Gary Payton, the glove.
Well, a lot of people don't know it, but Larry Bird was a huge trash talker, So, Larry had a few kind words to say to you all the time. I mean, it was always pretty comical. He was so good and so skilled at what he would do. So, he would always kind of interact with the coaches and the players. And, as a coach give you instructions, he'll say, you heard your coach, you need to get up on me. You heard what Chuck said, and he'll let one go, So, and he had this thing where he would up fake you, and if you go up in the air, he'd slap you on the butt as you go by, and then shoot the jumper and knock it in. So Larry gave you a lot of chatter out there on the floor too.
I like that. I didn't know that. Now I know.
Yeah.
All right. Out of these 3 players, this fan wants to know, who are you taking? Dame, Steph, or Luka?
Oh boy, I mean, it's a no-brainer for me.
Yeah.
I'm taking Steph.
Right.
Steph. And the reason why, I mean, I don't want to just say it's a no-brainer, because all 3, are dynamic players. I mean, Dave Dollar is my guy. I mean, seeing what he was able to do from the time he came into the league until where he is now. I mean, no one anticipate that, but he's became a star within himself. And I just love the way he played. And I'm also enjoying Luka performance, but Steph is just another subject for me. He just stands out so much and covers so much ground for me. But so I'm just going to say Steph Curry.
It's like you said, it's almost a no-brainer. Let's just break it down. Let's break it down. Steph's got the championships, the scoring, the shows. He's been entertaining. Okay, Luka just came in the league. He's been in for a couple years. He's been great. He's in the talk about MVP. Steph already got him. I want to go current. Dame Dollar just got 61 from Steph Curry. So he just gave him 61. So I'm going with Steph hands down. I love Dame. I think he's going to be he is a great player and going to continue to get better. And Luka, who knows? The sky is the limit. His versatility and what he's doing to this league, but he's got a ways to go before you start saying I'm gonna take him. But Steph Curry is the man right now. So there's no question about that.
All right, final fan question. I think this will be tough. Who's the best teammate that you ever had?
Oh my God.
Well, I had so many. I mean, I just can't just say one. I mean, here's one. I'm sitting right here on the screen. I mean, and then another one ain't even here.
Yeah.
You know, and so
that'd be tough for us because I played with seven. I played with 7 teams.
Yeah, I know. I mean,
let me name some of the guys, and maybe you can tell me who the best. I played with Dr. J, Michael Jordan, Muggsy Bogues, Isaiah Thomas, Hakeem Olajuwon, Moses Malone. I mean, so it's tough.
It's just that the people the individual that I came across is just too tough. Like I say, Oak, Earl, Dell, and you got Zoe, LJ. I mean, Rex. I got VC, T Mac, Moses, New, really rest in peace. I mean, D Walker.
You can't pick one out of that. It's hard to pick one.
I mean, I gotta keep on going on. I can't stop. It's too many. Yeah.
No.
I read it and I said, there's no way that they can answer this, but I'm going to ask it because it was one of our fan questions.
Yeah, that's a tough one there. When you had a lot of great teammates, and Muggsy and Oak, they definitely at the top of our list, so there's no question about that. I didn't average for about 7-8 points a game, but Muggsy gave me all of those. So playing with him, it made life easy. All I had to do was run. Just run. He got me the ball. It was a different story with Michael Holden.
You're so crazy.
All right, our next segment, it's a new segment. Again, disappointed Oak's not here because I thought there might be some trash talk between you guys during this segment. But you know what? It's going to be up to y'all, I guess. We're going to go with, this one's called 3 OGs Olympics. So I'm going to give you a competition.
Oh, man.
And you got to tell me who would win if you're playing right now. So not in like the prime of your career, but current day, who would beat the other person? All right, we're going to start with the 40-yard dash.
Oh, that's the easy one right there. Yeah. I give him a head start.
Yeah, he gonna get. Now you got to get into Bugs. Come on, now.
Yeah, I got the 40 y'all.
But with me and Oak, you got to get into Bugs.
Yeah, right now, that knees ain't right now. Yeah, I got it right now.
All right, what if we were doing bench press?
Oak Tree, one of them two got me.
Yeah,
well, I'm only bench pressing about 75 right now.
Oak is still doing it. We talk about it all the time. I have to get that to Oak. I mean, I can bench press, but I ain't bench pressing probably like Oak. I mean, he was always pretty strong, and he's still doing it. I talk to him. He's
probably still bench pressing about 400.
Yeah, I still lift, but I don't lift like I ain't lifting that heavyweight like he did. He don't lift heavy anymore anyway. But I still get a nod to Oak on that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
All right, we're giving that one to Oak. Okay. What about free throw contest? Who would win that?
88%. Hey.
I'm not even commenting.
No. Oak Tree be hitting his free throws though. Oak Tree hit his free throw.
But no, that's definitely that's going to you though.
I got that one. I'm going for the free throw. Yeah.
All right. What about the best vertical right now?
Right now?
I'm taking that one. How can I jump Bugs right now? I got bad hip. You got bad knee. I still think I'm 6'9". I still can get up a little higher. I can get to the rim.
I don't know. Oak Tree might be still dunking right now.
No. He was a ground player. Now he definitely played below the rim. Now I was a high flying. I'm taking that one because I was a high flying that group when it comes to that. So
all right, that one goes to Earl. All right, switching it up a little bit. What about golf? Current day.
Well, he only played golf, so he ain't in this category. Me and Oak Tree is between me and Oak Tree.
Right.
I think it depends on what day it is. I think I'm gonna get him. I know I'm gonna get him. I know I'm gonna get him. I think
you have a lot to say about that, though.
Yeah, I know.
He got pride in his golf game.
Yeah.
I've been out on the course. I don't play, but I've been out there with him though.
I've been out there with him too. I know. He gonna say
I've been out there with you too. I seen both of you guys play.
Yeah, he gonna say he gonna get me. I'm gonna say him gonna get it. I mean, it all depends on
what day it is.
Which how that ball coming off that club.
All right, and what if we did a game of NBA trivia? Who would be your winner?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know.
That'd be interesting then.
It'd be interesting. I think we always try to compete, and then it all depends on who. come up.
Depends on what the questions is too. If you go way
Yeah.
back in history, I might have an edge on that. If you go back to
Mm.
your era after, I don't know. I got a lot of history on it.
I
So.
know I'm a little student of the game.
I know you're a student too. I know you're a
So
student. Yeah.
I know Oak Tree knows a lot.
I might be hearing a new segment come about. We might have to do a little NBA trivia on the
they're gonna start
podcast
throwing
one
some
day.
questions. Yeah, you go. That's gonna
We
be
can
it.
settle that one.
Yeah. That'd be
Absolutely.
interesting there. That'd definitely be
Yeah.
interesting. Yeah.
Mhm.
All right, that was fun. I like that new segment. So
Mhm.
I have to do the three
Who
OGs.
the youngest player that averaged a triple double? That tallied the triple double.
You just
We're
did
going
it.
to trivia right now. I know that one. Ding ding.
Okay, well, who was the one before that?
You got to what? Magic was,
No,
was-
I said, there we go. There we go.
I'm just saying, Magic.
He's in the lead now. He's still in the lead now.
Didn't his brother do it?
No.
I thought I read that in an article.
The youngest
You
player.
know what? Now,
before that.
go ahead.
You can't wait a minute. You can't ask questions you already know now. See?
I know.
I know.
We gotta let somebody else ask these
I did
questions.
read this in an article.
That's how you do it, though. That's how you do. You sneak it in. It was small.
Yeah. Well, I'm the moderator. I don't even know why I tried to answer the question. I get to ask them.
It was a young kid at Orlando who's now out towards ACC. The number one player, Marcus Folks.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
I would have never guessed that one. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He got off to a rugged start. So, he didn't really, he's the first round pick that had to show the problems. And number one pick in the draft. I'm saying he had all those problems. So I didn't know he had a game like that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he did.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, let's go on to segment 4. Today it's going to be rapid fire. We've done this one before. So I'm going to give you a topic and you just tell me the first thing that comes to mind. We're going to start with James Wiseman.
Man, intelligent, sky is the limit.
Yeah, potential for sure.
Okay. What about Josh Allen?
About to go down. but had a great season.
Don't tell Bill's Mafia that.
Yeah.
I know. And I know. My guy up in Buffalo too, he killed me for saying that.
All right. What about Carmelo Anthony?
Man.
Still hanging in there.
Offense. All I can think about is scoring, offense. And great NBA player. Just wish he could get that ring. He's one of those guys that's been, a great performer for a lot of years and just haven't been able to find a way to get that championship ring, though. I think about scoring when I think about Carmelo Anthony, though.
Well, he's my B-more guy. My homie from the upbringings. Yeah. But when I think of Melo, of course, it's just about his scoring. But at this stage, for me now, thinking about him, it's just about his maturity. Mm-hmm. In terms of him able to mature enough to be able to come and lend his service reporting, because they're going to need him, especially with big fella being injured right now.
All right. Next topic, Denver Nuggets.
Scary.
Interesting. Yeah.
Very scary right now because these guys are playing some good basketball. Big big fella lost weight. The big Joker. He lost weight. He's fit. And he's
passing the ball like
every
crazy.
Every category you look at, he's covering the stat sheet.
No, they got a good team down there. They got some good stuff going. They definitely gonna be in the hunt. It's a team to watch. It's an interesting team to keep your eye on in the West because they're gonna be in the picture.
Yeah, that's why I say scary for me.
All right, Steve Nash.
Lucky. lucky.
Two-time MVP, coach now. Steve Nash, I say question mark right now. See what's going to happen with him in the coaching field. He was a successful player, but I'm going to put a question mark on the coaching right now and see how he's going to handle this tough situation coming in as a young guy, a young coach, a first-year head coach.
I would say he blessed and lucky to acquire a team with championship pedigree already from day one with Durant and Kyrie Irving, now acquired James Harden, and to be in that position as the first-time coach. But, it just, again, it's a lucky being at the right place at the right time situation. I'm happy for him because he's a great guy.
Yeah. All right, know how to run a team. He was a coach on the floor. There's no question about that. But now it's a different thing when you can't play no more, though. You got to sit there and try to make other guys do it. So
Yeah, it's different when you're at the helms. It's just like Coach Dan Antonio said.
Yeah.
His days is pretty easy.
Yeah. So the
heat ain't on him no more.
Yeah, just put that question mark up there. That's what you think about. Question mark. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, 2 more in rapid fire. What about the Cleveland Browns?
I tell you what, very impressive. Very impressive. I was impressed, especially with the maturity of Baker Mayfield. A lot of things that's been said about him. And of course, he was living up to it previously, but this year, the maturity you've seen, I don't know if it's through the coaching, the relationship that he had, but he seemed like a different gentleman this year. I mean, different man this season. Very poised, strategic of where he wanted to go. I know everybody saying Odell Beckham went down. He started to, see the field a lot more, but it just opportunity presented itself, I guess, and he started to, showcase his talent. And here it is. They made the playoff for first time in 50-some years. So that was amazing.
Anytime you see a team in Cleveland that's doing well, you got to almost pull for them. Now, I mean, LeBron brought a miracle there to him for the championship, but that team's had such bad luck with all the teams they had there. So to see the Browns in the mix is a good thing.
Yeah, because I remember when Ernie Byers, Ernie fumbled.
It's a lot of heartbreaks.
Yeah,
they did a whole documentary on that, on the heartbreaks in Cleveland. They showed how bad it was. It's tough.
Yeah.
Well, their spirits are uplifted. At least, they got back into the playoffs. That's something to be happy about. Promise of the young guys on the team. So we'll see. Got to wait till next year now. We'll see what happens with them. All right. Last name on the list, Lil Uzi Vert. Do y'all have him on the playlist?
Buy it.
Lose. They lose. I had that friend like that. But you hear songs. You gotta make you cry.
Okay.
I don't know a lot about him.
Mine does. No.
Yeah, I see.
I watch videos.
Yeah, he been hearing it. He's singing the songs.
Yes, he plus also got a little song with Future too.
Yeah. Okay.
I can't say that on air.
You're on the rap scene.
That's some explicit right there. There's a lot of explicits going on that one.
Lil Wayne, Blake, Jay-Z. After I get through them guys, I'm getting lost after that.
I know.
So.
Well, he's really young, up and coming. Little fella been around for a second though. He been, he got some nice little. Yeah.
There you go.
All my friends are dead. They are dead. All my friends are dead.
You know it. All right. That's going to wrap up rapid fire. That was fun. Okay. We have one more segment. This topic, we just kind of want to, normally we would be thinking about, we're in the new year, the All-Star game will be coming up. Obviously, we know that's postponed. It's not happening in 2021. Hopefully they'll do something to kind of recognize the guys that would normally be there that weekend and competing and having fun. But I'm just curious, when you think of All-Star, what are some things that come to mind for you guys?
I'll tell you, it's a fan festivity. It's mainly for the fans. That's what All-Star is all about. For the fans, get the opportunity to be up close with the guys and to see what they like, what they all go through. With their families, and it's a celebration moment, and for everybody to come together to lead within itself. We have our partners that's all involved, people from overseas that come in, and it's just a great opportunity for the NBA to showcase their product, and then also for the fans to be able to see what's happening behind the scenes. There's so many experiences that they get to kind of witness, which they don't get the chance to see when they're at home, but to be up close and see all the stars in one place at one time, it's a beautiful sight.
Yeah, no question about it. It's really for the fans. I mean, you get a chance to see your dream teams doing the All-Star games with players that you want to see play together. That day, everybody come out, everybody get a chance, and the players are relaxed. And not only to mention the 3-point competition, the dunk competition, and all the celebrity All-Star games. I think everybody gets a little bit of piece of the All-Star weekend, and it's a great weekend, and it's big for the NBA. And unfortunately, we're gonna have to wait another year before they're able to do it. It definitely would be missed though, because it's an exciting weekend for fans and for players and for everybody. Everybody seems to enjoy that. And, all of our celebrities, they get a piece of it, and everybody kind of get a piece of it right there. So that's going to be missed this year.
Yeah. But I think, I'm sorry, Ash, but I just know the NBA, and I know they got something in plan, something in store to bring the fans in order to, we may miss that gathering, but it's going to be a way where they're going to reach out to where they're going to showcase the guys who was awarded that opportunity in some way, and somehow they're going to kind of show some light on that.
I agree. I definitely think it's not going to be forgotten, and not going to be nothing done. Something, I mean, and we're so fortunate we have so much technology, right? Like we're all in different places doing our podcast. The NBA is going to come up with some way. I mean, maybe we do like a digital dunk contest. I don't know, 3-point contest. I don't know. Let's do something,
Well, they're being extremely creative for the election right now. I mean, I noticed that they're going to have a big concert that's coming up, right after we get off this call. They'll probably have people performing all over in all 50 states. So they've been real creative with that, not being able to have a crowd and getting everybody involved, and they still making it happen. So we've been able to adapt and adjust to some hard times right now.
Yeah, I was really excited when the All-Star game came to Charlotte, or the weekend, because that was on my bucket list of things to get to report and cover. So I was like, well, we got it. Then it got taken away. My heart got broke. Then we got it back. And I was like, okay, finally, we're going to have it. We're going to get to do this. So it was really cool to see, like you guys said, like it is for the fans, but to see everybody come together in one city for the sport and just kind of showcase the top of the top that's in the league that year.
Yeah. And then for the Charlotte to get awarded, 2 times in within a couple of decades, and that's a blessing. When he was here in '91, it was a whole different city. Then we was fortunate enough to get it back in 2019. Lord, I mean, they saw the city in a different light, and that was a great thing for the growth of the city as well as the growth of the NBA, where how far we have come.
Well, I'm going to say, as NBA All-Star Weekend 2022, we're going on the road with our podcast. Let's just do it live on location.
Live on location. I like the sound of that.
That sounds real good.
Somewhere sunny.
Well, I think that's going to do it for this week's podcast. I mean, I know we missed Oak, but I had a lot of fun hanging out with you guys.
Okay. We always have fun with you, Ash, of course. And again, big fella, I don't know where he's at. I can imagine he's probably in the kitchen. Next me talking about he's been up there frying that chicken, making collard greens and macaroni and cheese.
Hey, it's load management.
Yeah. This how well load management.
Yeah, load management. Yeah, he just take some time off.
Give time off.
He on that 18-wheeler with a half a load.
I love it. This was
all
awesome.
Right. Well, until next time, and maybe it'll be 4 of us.
Well, we still got the 3 OGs, so we
there
good.
We go.
Yeah, we still got the 3 OGs.